The date was the 1st of March 2016, 1 week before the release of The Division. The hype train was going 100 miles an hour and I was hanging off the back, riding it like a bucking bronco. I sold the premise to all my friends, a tactical looter shooter that would allow us to work like a well-oiled machine as we cleaned up the streets of New York. Fast forward a week, and I was greeted with this. As the weeks went on, I tried to keep the faith, but bit by bit the novelty wore off and I saw The Division for what it was. A game far from what was promised, and I have to admit, it pissed me off. I was found crying in a corner, rocking like a bit. Wait, what? That's not what. Lenny, you little shit! A game far from what was promised, and I have to admit I wasn't happy. There was no real tactics needed once you got your skills sorted. You didn't need cover, the ads were just bullet sponges with predictable tactics, and after 6 weeks, I put the game to bed. My relationship with The Division was over. Then came the announcement of Division 2, and the old feelings came back. I'd been hearing for years how The Division had improved dramatically over the years. I'd listened to Skill Up wax lyrical on how The Division was a different game and is now a great foundation for The Division 2 to build on. I wasn't convinced, and this time I let the hype train chug along down the track without me. The thing is though, like any old flame, there's always temptation there, and when I saw the open beta released, I thought I'll give it a crack. After playing the open beta, however, I started to notice the differences. It had some of the old basics, but there was more to it. I couldn't put my finger on it exactly. It felt the same, yet different, and it caught my attention enough that I laced up my good old running shoes and caught that bastarding train back up. So here we are. I present to you my review of Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I split my reviews up into 3 sections: the good, the bad and the ugly, which is designed to give you the information you need to make an informed choice, and just in case, but at the end of it if you can't, I give you my honest opinion on what you should do. So sit back, grab a brew, it's time for the good. The best place to start is the world itself. It's what the game's built on, and as an open world shooter, or looter shooter, if the world is shit, the game is literally up shit creek without a paddle. However, I'm pleased to tell you that as open worlds go, this is one of the best I've ever played in. At first it seems a little weird because you see the sunshine, you hear the birds singing, yet the streets are void of normal social life. What it is filled with, however, is a ton of sadistic intelligent scumbags who are hell-bent on shoving what weapons you have straight up your bloody jacksie, whilst getting their mates to teabag your lifeless body. The world is a beautifully crafted representation of America's most iconic city. The grandeur of the Washington Monument surrounded by the chaos of the world is the perfect example of how the world has regressed. The sentiment of having the White House as your HQ was not lost to me, even though I'm a couldn't care less Northern English bloke. Exploration is seriously rewarding as you check every back street and eyeline every rooftop for loot. Playing the game felt like being on a really weird vacation, as I just wanted to know more about Washington. The problem with that, of course, is every time I found something interesting to investigate, I was surprise attacked by one of the 3 factions controlling the city. As annoying as they were though, I couldn't help but be impressed by the AI. In The Division 1, all the ads did the same thing. You had runners who pushed you, big tanks that did all the DPS, and ranged enemies, all of which tended to come at you in a straight line as you danced around them. In The Division 2, there is the same rushers, ranged and tank class enemies, but the way in which they are dispatched makes all the difference. The enemies constantly try and find a way to flank you, and they're bloody sneaky at it as well. You'll be fighting off one flank when a couple of ads will sprint down the opposite side and hide behind you in cover, then pounce and bang you harder than a chain gang drilling railroad spikes. There are actual tactics implemented by the enemy NPCs. For instance, if you try and dig into a cover spot, all you have to do is look up and you'll be seeing Molotovs, grenades and rockets coming down on you like the arrows that block the sun out in 300. Alright, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get my point. The fact is, if you're not paying attention to the field of battle or get cocky at any point, you will be punished. And as annoying as that was at times, I couldn't help but admire the sheer brilliance behind the creation of these NPCs. Another point taken into consideration when you're fighting is that your character is now super squishy. In the Division 1 you could tank a lot of damage and if need be put down some healing or pop a healing super to negate any damage that comes your way. In the Division 2 this has been totally changed. You can take a few shots before your armor's gone and then you're 2 or 3 hits from death. The TTK has been drastically reduced, which makes those flanks even more dangerous. I've lost count how many times I've wiped out 3 or 4 ads, got complacent, nipped out of cover thinking I could just clean up the rest and then get bitch slapped by some cheeky little bastard purple boy who's sat in a corner thinking I'm going to wait for this twat to pop out. And in those situations, there's nothing you can do because by the time you know you've been flanked or caught out in the open, it's generally too late. Overall, the world and everything in it has been masterfully crafted and is easily one of the best in the world. Next up is the skill system. The skill system has been overhauled. There's no super this time apart from the signature weapon which you get once you've completed the main story at level 30. But for the main story, you get to choose 2 skills from a list which includes turrets, drones, seekers, fireflies, shields, pulsers, chem blasters and etc. All of which have between 2 and 4 different variants to choose from. My personal favourite is the acid chem launcher and the bullet turret as they work well to add 2 lines of fire and a quick way to get NPCs out of cover. After the story is finished, you get to choose one of 3 signature weapons. A 50 cal sniper which hits like a truck, a bomb crossbow which is again good for getting people out of cover, and a grenade launcher to rain the pain. But don't worry, it's not a case of pick one and you're stuck with it. Oh no. You can actually switch between the 3 and level up the various skill trees at the quartermaster at the White House HQ. In fact, your 2 main skills can be switched out at a moment's notice. You don't have to visit anyone or stop a mission. All you have to do is go into menus, it takes about a minute and you can switch between your different skills that you've unlocked. Providing of course that the skill you want to change is not in use or is not on cooldown. This provides a wide range of options when facing the various challenges the game throws at you. One minute you might be dealing with a ton of ads and you need to lay down some suppressive fire so you chuck a turret out. Another time you might be dealing with a massive tank and you need healing because not only has he got the tank, you've got also his teammates that are popping shots at you every time you pop out of cover. You do need to unlock these skills however, which you do in 2 ways. First is to unlock the main skills by leveling up 1 to 30. The second way is to unlock the variants like healing chem launcher and acid chem launcher by spending shared currency which you actively seek out in the world, giving you more reason to explore. Speaking of searching things out in the world, that takes me on to the greatest achievement of this game, the loot. Never have I come across a loot system that is as actively rewarding as this one. For instance, play Destiny to max rank and you'll soon realise that the loot you get is often useless and broken down as you either already have it or don't want it. In the Division 2, even at max rank, I am always excited to get that new gun, which there are many of by the way, to see the perk it has. It's the same story with the armour you get too. You can go for the various branded sets which have special perks for wearing 2 or 3 items of the same brand, or you can mix and match to create various builds like the melting SMG build. The loot system is that good, it takes an excellent crafting system and makes so it's almost not needed at all. But to top it all off, there's also the recalibration station that allows you to break down an item to put a specific skill on the matching armour of your choice. So for instance, if you have a level 25 body armour piece that has a perk that you like Mad Bomber, and then you drop a level 27 body armour piece which doesn't have that perk, you can take them to the recalibration station, break down the level 25 piece for that specific perk and put it on your level 27 piece. that is a fantastic tool to have when you're making builds. It does of course require crafting parts, but you'll get that as you're searching through the world, because trust me, there's bloody plenty of them. The loot and the quest for making that perfect build, or the perfect different builds like DPS or heal or things like that, has kept me coming back for more, even though I am now at 451 of max rank, waiting for World Tier 5 to drop. I haven't seen a loot system this good since Borderlands 2, and that's saying something. The last good point, which truly deserves to be pointed out, is the mission designs. Let's just boil things down to brass tacks for a second. Regardless of the game, there is only so many ways you can engage an enemy. This often causes a dilemma which is ignored by many designers as they copy and paste the same horde mode bollocks into the missions. You only have to look as far back as Anthem for proof of that. A great developer understands this problem and makes it so that even though you are in essence doing the same thing, it feels different. And that is exactly what Massive has done here. Whether I was fighting the hyenas or the true sons, every fight felt different and engaging. Even when I was replaying them. Normally you replay a mission, you know, where you can just run past parts or speed run, a la Destiny. But here you can't do that because each engagement, the AI works differently. They'll lock down different sections and things like that. Massive even took the time to rework all the missions for the end game, which I'm not going to get into because that's spoiler talk. And we don't do spoilers here. I say we don't do spoilers. And finally, to wrap up the good, there are some honourable mentions, which include settlement system, which seriously evolves into almost like a game of Risk when you get into the end game content. The sewer systems, which are like mini games of loot, hide and seek. And all the different activities you can do when you engage in the AI in the open world. Fantastic. No game is perfect, and The Division 2 is no different. The main problems generally revolve around how the game runs. I need to point out at this stage though that I ran this game on an OG PlayStation because, as always, I don't have a PlayStation Pro, and, well, you know, I don't beg for them either. Much. Somebody please fucking donate one. Anyway, my point is that some of these problems that I've come across might not be prevalent in PlayStation Pro or the PC versions. The problems that I came across were things like how the textures don't pop in. The signs that I was stood there for a good 30 seconds waiting for the texture to pop in so I could read what it was going to say. It was almost like a mini game. Guess the bloody sign. And for some people, me not so much, but I can see how some people that can break game immersion. At launch there was quite a few game breaking bugs, which I'm pleased to say have now been, or in the middle of being fixed. One of the bugs revolved around the skills, like the drone. Somehow the drone was managing to break the game completely, and in other cases the turret, when you put your turret down, it would disappear instantly. Bloody annoying! When you're trying to get 2 lines of fire and you throw it down and thinking, why is it just disappear? What the... Oh, for God! Oh, now I'm dead! Now I'm dead! Thank you very bloody much! It has to be said, however, that Massive worked very quickly, with the community I might add, to fix these issues. This gives me a lot of confidence for the future. My other bad point is that some of the guns feel seriously weak. Guns like the rifles or the single shot rifles, for instance, they don't seem to do as much damage as something like a marksman rifle, which is a sniper. The marksman rifle, you can actually take the scope off it and then use it as like a single shot rifle, which hits like a bloody truck, negating the need for the normal rifles at all. The PvP side of it, the conflict, can feel really laggy at times. There's been a few occasions where I put a whole SMG mag into someone at point blank range, only for them to disappear, reappear behind me and wipe me out to the sound of Lenny G pissing himself laughing, shouting, noob! And that's it really for relevant bad points. Yeah, that's as worse as it gets. But what about the ugly? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One man's troll is another man's queen, which is why this section is purely devoted to things that annoy the shit out of me personally. Things like the matchmaking system doesn't, or rarely, spawns you at the mission starting point of which you are matchmaking for, which means you then have two choices: fight your way to the mission or re-matchmake and hope you get put at the start. The kick system. I spent an hour one night fighting through my first stronghold with randoms. We get to the end and I was unceremoniously, bloody rudely I might add, kicked for my troubles, which meant the last hour was pointless. I got nothing but a big you and have a nice day. The cash loot boxes, which are earned through getting key parts and crafting keys, can drop duplicates. It takes forever to get enough materials to craft a key, only to get the same shit twice. Not good, sort it. The shotguns feel a tad weak. There needs to be more vanity items found out in the world, because it's obviously dialed down to make the buyable items in the store more appealing. The statues, let's not forget about the bloody statues, have no information on them at all. Massive have a great opportunity to put in like an interactive menu on the statues or points of interest to impart some facts and education. Personally, I love that stuff and it would have been a nice touch, don't you bloody think? And another thing, Massive, another thing. Why can't I put my clan insignia on my arm patch on my character? Don't you think I want to show off that I'm a part of middle-aged bloody rage? Of course I do, so why can't I do it? You let me make an insignia, why can't I put it on my patch? That's just insanity! And that's it. That's all my gripes. That's all my rage is out the way, done. All in all, pence for pence, in my opinion, The Division 2 is the best open world looter shooter on the market right now. It's certainly the best that's been since Borderlands 2, which is the only game I can think of in this genre that equals the design quality of The Division 2. I must point out as well that I truly believe any game on earth is more fun with friends, which is why I spent the whole of my time in The Division 2 playing solo, apart from the matchmaking for strongholds, etc. This game is a masterpiece, and I don't use that word lightly. You can play with friends, and yes, the game is amazing when you squad it up, but equally you can play this game and just have as much fun playing solo. I've had at least 200 hours of enjoyment out of Division 2, which is why I can say that the Division 2 is a bargain at full price point. In closing, I would just like to say a massive, no pun intended, thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate your time and support. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and have enjoyed this video, I would implore you to do so, to subscribe. It would help me out as I'm trying to grow my channel. As always, it's been a pleasure delivering my review of The Division 2 to you. Until next time, that's all from me, Mr. B. Ta-ta for now.